My older sister finally married the prince she'd always dreamed of, but on their wedding night, it was me who got sent into the bridal chamber. Because she wasn't a virgin, Mu Yan had hooked up with one of the household guards. When it came out, her mom had the guy poisoned to keep it quiet, but killing him didn't exactly undo what had already been done. To keep the prince from finding out, she threatened my mom's life and forced me to go as her handmaid. I'm her half-sister and we look about 60 to 70% alike. She figured she'd pulled off the perfect cover-up, because I was mute. What she didn't know, I was faking it. Inside the prince's estate, Mu Yan was all dolled up in her bridal crown and robes. She looked stunning, sure, but it couldn't hide just how vicious she really was. On the wedding night, she shoved me behind the screen and grabbed me by the throat, then smiled and said, "Once this is done, I'll take good care of you, I promise. But if you try anything funny, I'll show you what real despair feels like." I pressed my lips together, trying to hide how scared I was. Mu Yan told me to stay behind the screen and wait. A moment later, the door got kicked open. Prince Han Rui strode in. In his red wedding robes, he looked like he owned the whole world. Absolutely breathtaking. I held my breath behind the screen. Mu Yan sat sweetly on the bed. Han Rui barely even glanced at her. He just turned around and poured himself some tea. Mu Yan rushed over. "Your Highness, let me." She took the cup and slipped in the powder she'd been hiding under her nail. A drug she'd had someone get for her. Han Rui drank it. Within minutes, his face went flushed and his breathing got heavy. He shot Mu Yan a death glare. "What did you put in my drink?" "My mama gave it to me, said it'd help with intimacy. I had no idea what it was, I swear." "5-stone powder? I'm perfectly healthy, and I don't need this garbage." "You really think I couldn't handle it on my own?" But even as he yelled, the heat was spreading. Mu Yan was thrilled. She dropped to her knees, putting on a whole act. "I know I was wrong, I'll never do it again. Please forgive me, my lord." Han Rui didn't say another word. The drug had fully kicked in. His eyes looked like a predator's, like he was ready to tear someone apart. I curled up behind that screen, absolutely terrified. Mu Yan guided him to the bed, then blew out the candles. The room went dark. She yanked me out and threw me onto Han Rui. By the time the sky started to lighten, my knees were shaking. I barely managed to crawl off the bed. Han Rui was still out cold. Whatever fake strength I'd been holding onto just completely fell apart. Everything from last night came flooding back. Han Rui had been furious. Because of Mu Yan's little stunt, he'd taken every bit of that rage out on me. No mercy whatsoever. No matter how hard I bit down, I couldn't stop myself from crying out. But compared to my mother's life on the line, none of it mattered. I forced my tears back and dragged myself out of the room, barely staying upright. Mu Yan was already awake, lounging on the daybed in the sitting room. She looked at me with pure venom and said one word: "Get out." I went back to the servants' quarters and heated up water to clean myself off. Alone. When I took off my clothes, I noticed something on my left arm, a golden jade bracelet. It slowly came back to me. Han Rui had slipped it on me last night afterward, said it was some kind of token or something. If Mu Yan spotted this, I'd be in serious trouble. I yanked at it as hard as I could, but I was so panicked it just wouldn't budge. I broke into a cold sweat. "Fine, just pull my sleeve down. Out of sight, out of mind. I'd get it off later and quietly return it." Mu Yan had gotten exactly what she wanted. Han Rui never found out the woman beside him that night wasn't his bride. She probably thought they'd live happily ever after. But the very next day, Han Rui got called off to put down a rebellion in the south. Mu Yan and the old princess led the whole household to see him off. I stood at the back of the crowd, watching Han Rui from a distance as everyone swarmed around him. He was in full armor, sharp and cold as ever. But fate had other plans. A month after Han Rui left, my period was late. I was carrying Han Rui's child. I knew exactly what that meant. If this baby was born, it would never be mine to keep. I wasn't about to sit there and let my own child end up like me. I knew exactly what Mu Yan feared most, and just like that, a plan clicked into place. That day, I took a flower basket out to the courtyard. Footsteps and voices came drifting down the corridor behind me. I ignored it, until a clear, bright voice called out, "Is that sister-in-law?" I turned around with a dazed look. It was Han Rui's younger brother, Han Jing, flanked by two beautiful maids. The moment he got a good look at me, something flickered in his eyes. I knew full well this was his usual route home. I played up the startled look and gave him a soft, graceful bow. "Han Jing, you're not sister-in-law, so why do you look so much like her from behind?" "This is the princess's handmaid. Her name's Tinger. She's mute. Please don't mind, second young master." Han Jing's face immediately softened. He said gently, "Tinger, it's windy out here. If you'd like to pick flowers, you're welcome to come to my courtyard." I shook my head, gave a timid little bow, and hurried off. Late that night, I brought in hot water to wash Mu Yan's hands and face. She glared at me with ice in her eyes, then suddenly knocked the basin out of my hands. Hot water all over me. I let out a yelp and dropped to my knees in front of her. Mu Yan dug her long, sharp nails into my jaw and forced my head up. "Mu Ting, quite the little schemer, aren't you? Han Jing takes one look at you and goes running to his mother to have you transferred to his courtyard." I looked up at her in fear, frantically signing, "I didn't do anything." Mu Yan slapped me across the face. I hit the floor, hands over my cheek.